What's good, guys? It's me, Gerald the Weep here, back again with another video. Okay, I've been gone since Christmas. I got sick right after Christmas for the last couple of weeks, so my fault for being gone. Anyway, I'm starting to feel a little bit better. My throat is just a little bit off. It'll be back to normal. It should be back to normal by next week or next Saturday, or when I make my next video. So this is What If Madara was transported to ReZero Part 3. I wanted to make a lot more other videos while on break, but I got sick, so my apologies. I will upload next Saturday or next Friday, so hopefully you guys enjoy. Anyway, that's all I have to say for what was going on, and let's get straight into the video. So last time, Madara was summoning Susanoo because they're about to fight the Mob Beast, and to ward off Rem and Rom. So as nighttime falls, they already put up ceilings. The mob beasts show up, and Madara deals with them quite easily. And Madara also puts up another plan, so he doesn't have to waste chakra. He summons his shadow clones of his Susanoo, those small ones, not like his big one. And they walk around the forest to find Melee and any other mob beasts. And as that is happening, Subaru and Ram and everyone in the village sees how tall they are walking around the village. And everyone's amazed at Madara's power, especially Subaru. Subaru knows that he cannot defeat Madara. Like, he's too overpowered. I mean, I didn't make him that overpowered. I'm just made him his base self, basically. Most of his base self, with his Renegade. If you need a refresher, just watch part 1. So as Madara goes and surveys the forest, Rem and Ram just are at a standstill. They don't know what to do. They just look at how powerful Madara is. And Madara says he found Melee. Melee tries to escape, and she knows she can't defeat that. But Madara just makes all of his Susanoo clones run right at Melee and start to slash at her. And they all surround Melee, and Melee tries to shoot one last attack before she's captured, but all of them dodge the attack, and they all slice right at Melee. Not to the point where it kills her. They just shoot. I forgot what is Madara's attack, where he just shoots like a. It's not like Sasuke's arrow. It's like Sasuke's arrow, but I forgot what it's called. Yeah, they do that, and they pin Melee to the ground pretty easily. And they walk her back to Madara, and Madara says, "Well, that was a lot more easier than I thought." And Madara says, "Well, that's all, folks. I'll be walking these back to the mansion. One will stay here." And Roswell sees them from far away as he was flying, and he flies straight to the village to see what that was. And he sees all these the Susanoo armor that Madara summoned. And Madara says he's already dealt with everything, and we need to lock this person up. She was going to kill Subaru, and everyone is shocked that in the village that Melee was going to do such a thing. And Madara says, "Roswell, you need to be better at looking after your whole village. I know a guy named Hashirama. He would be very disappointed in you, especially since your village is so small." And Roswell says, "Hashirama? Who's this Hashirama?" Yeah, Subaru also asks Madara who that was. And he said, "I already told you about him a long time ago. But he was a good friend of mine. I started a village with him a long time ago, but I don't know how to get back to that village. It's probably been years since he's seen me. But I just want to get back to that village and retire, because I'm getting tired of all this violence. It's so annoying. I've been doing it since I've been a kid. Killing and killing. More killing. That's all I do. I just wanted it to all stop." And Madara says, "Well, that's enough about my sad story. We need to get back to the mansion and deal with this." And Madara says he'll be staying at the mansion for now on because the Susanoo that's going to be there, it's not going to waste that much of his chakra, and he'll only summon it when something triggers his traps. His Sharingan can see that far. The village, he can see that very far. I'm pretty sure Madara's Sharingan is pretty good at seeing far. I'm pretty sure he can see the village from the mansion, so he will know if one of the traps are being set off. And yes, everything goes how it goes in the original timeline after that. But Madara learns how to do more reading, and yeah, he learns more about the ReZero world while he's at the mansion. And Roswell doesn't know what to do with Madara. And, and to now, a couple of days later, and Felix and oh my goodness, how did I forget his name? Oh my God, no, 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 no. Reinhardt's grandfather. Yeah, I remember that it's Reinhardt's grandfather. What is going on? It's been a minute since I made a video. If I'm forgetting him, oh my goodness, hold on. Okay, yes, I remembered his name, Wilhelm. I don't know how I forgot Wilhelm's name. Jeez Louise. Anyway, so like I was saying, Felix and Wilhelm have arrived at the mansion, and Subaru greets them, and he says, "Nice to meet you. My name is Subaru Natsuki." And as Wilhelm shakes his hand, he sees that this is a hand that's seen lots of death. And he also noticed Madara Susanoo's armor clone things. I don't know, I forgot what they're called. They're just walking around the mansion. There's only two of them, but they're pretty noticeable. They're pretty tall. And Wilhelm also noticed one in the village. And Madara also sent one to this sanctuary, a place. They're trying to. Garfield is trying to destroy it, but it won't be. It can't get destroyed by Garfield's attacks. Anyway, I just want to include that because in the future it's going to be there, and don't be confused. Anyway, Subaru says, "Oh, just ignore Madara's Susanoo armor clones." And that's what Felix says. They're clones of someone's power. How's he keeping that up? He says, he puts traps everywhere and he activates them when people come. He'll unactivate them very soon. But you can wait inside the mansion. And Ram and Ram take it over there from Subaru. And he says, well, good luck with your, whatever you're doing. And Subaru then tries to go find Madara. And he says, geez Louise, what was that cat-eared person? I gotta ask Madara. And Madara then uses his Sharingan to see, and he sees that it's a guy, and he starts laughing. Madara got caught up with what Subaru was saying, and Madara says it's a guy to Subaru, and Subaru was in shock at this revelation. And he says, oh, never mind. Well, what do we do from here then? This is a downtime. It's about to get more action soon. Madara's heard of a rumor about this royal selection, and Amelia should be going there. And Subaru says, okay, I should go there then. And Madara says, no, I'll be going. I want you to stay at the Roswell mansion. It's too dangerous. I can go with Amelia and protect her. As long as you don't die, that is. I just need you to stay alive. If you die, I'll know. And then I'll bring you with me. Trust me. And Subaru says, are you sure? I can still come with if you want me to. And Madara says, no, I got it. And Subaru still goes. He ignores Madara's warning because it's Subaru. But he also asks Amelia that can he go, and Amelia says no. And this really does make Subaru mad, but he still goes. But Madara knows, but he doesn't ask Amelia. He just goes. And this is right after Felix and Wilhelm leave. So this is a couple of days after that. Yeah, I'm just trying to get through all of the most important parts. So now it's time for the royal selection, and Subaru follows, Amelia and Madara. He just flies there with his Susanoo. It does take a lot of chakra, but he has enough to fly there. And everyone sees his Susanoo, and he flies into the alley with the three thugs. Yeah, you know that alley. He just flies into there and then stops his Susanoo. Okay, yeah. Okay, sorry for the bad edit. As Madara looks around him, he noticed the same people. Yeah, I went back to rewatch my old videos just to make sure I'm not missing anything. So, he didn't. I thought I killed them off, but I didn't. Okay, the alley thugs. He sees them and he says, "Oh, you guys again." And he also sees a person in a big red dress with orange hair, and he says, "Do you need any help? I don't wouldn't mind helping, I guess." And Madara says, "Nah, I'm pretty sure you can handle this." And she then orders Madara to help her right now. And Madara then gets annoyed and he says, "Excuse me? I don't gotta help you. I don't even know who you are." And Madara then punches all of the alley thugs, and they didn't even run away because they saw that they were arguing. They didn't want to run right into her because then Madara would probably attack them. But he still attacks them, and he says, "They are dealt with them, but you're going to have to owe me something." And Priscilla says, "I can make you a knight of mine. You seem pretty strong." And Madara says, "No, thank you. I'm already going to. I guess I'm kind of a knight of someone else." And Priscilla says, "I can pay you double." And Madara says, "I also have to do it for another person too." And he says, "What is your name? I find you quite interesting. You are very annoying though." And then I forgot his name. No, Priscilla's guard shows up. Her knight shows up and asks who he was, and he says, "I protected your." And then I forgot his name. I can't remember his name. He then explains that she's a royal candidate, and Madara says, "Oh, I see. So you're against Amelia then?" And Priscilla then said, "Oh, that elf, that disgusting elf, well, half elf," and she then spits onto the ground. And Madara then gets angry at that, and he says, "Oh, well, she's a royal. I can't attack her." Well, he then says, "Well, good luck with your royal selection. I'll be there too. I'm a knight of one person." And he walks away, and he felt a little bit angry. It kind of reminded him of when with the Uchiha and the Senju clan, when they are so disgusted with each other that they keep fighting. It kind of reminded him of that. And as he was done with that, he walks over and he sees Julius and Amelia and Subaru. And Subaru doesn't run into Priscilla because Madara runs into her. And Subaru follows Amelia. He finds Amelia right away and doesn't go into the alley. And he sees Julius is kissing Amelia's hand. And Subaru is, how Subaru is in this arc of the show. He acting all weird and stuff. And Madara walks up to Julius and says, "Who are you?" And Subaru and Amelia are surprised that Madara is here. And Julius says, "Oh, who is this? Is this another person you know, Amelia?" And Madara says, "Yeah, I'm her knight, her precious good knight, Madara Uchiha." Madara starts to laugh at that, at himself. And he says, "I am her strongest." And Subaru is just there. Yeah, he makes fun of Subaru. And Subaru then tries to punch Madara. And Madara dodges it pretty quickly. And he says, "Ignore Subaru. He's always been jealous of people." And Julius says, "I'll ignore it then." And Subaru tries to explain that he's not jealous of anyone. And Madara says, "Oh, be quiet." And he then picks up Subaru and he says, "I told you to stay back at the mansion, but you couldn't even listen to my commands." And Amelia also says that to Subaru too. And Julius then says, "Oh, I see." And then Subaru says, "You just wait here. I'll come back." And Madara says, "No, you're not coming back. I'm sending you back to the village." And Madara then summons one of his Susanoo things, and he then grabs Subaru and runs him back to the Roswell mansion. And Subaru can't escape from that thing. And then Madara comes up with an idea. He says, "Never mind, I won't do all that." He then runs into Otto. He says, "I want you to bring back this Subaru." And he then pays Otto. And Subaru says he's not going back. He wants to see the royal selection. And Madara says, "Okay then, if you beat me in an arm wrestle, I'll let you go with me." And Amelia says for Madara to go back too. And Madara says, "I'm your knight. I can't go back." And yeah, Madara is still playing off of that. And Amelia then she says, "I'm going to be in the royal selection hall," and she leaves them both. And Madara then just waits until both of them leave. Julius and Amelia leave, and then knocks out Subaru. And he says, "Can you just bring him back to the mansion for me? What is your name?" And Otto explains his name, and he says, "No problem." And he takes Subaru back to the Roswell mansion, and yeah, Madara gave him the directions to the place. So that is avoided. And Madara then goes in to the royal selection. He follows right after Priscilla. And he says, "I meet you again." And she ignores him and says, "You're part of that Amelia's camp. I don't want to be tainted." And Madara says, "Okay, you can be like that." And then the royal selection happened as normal, but the difference is Madara keeps his mouth shut. He doesn't want to get Amelia ratings down because he actually wants to go back to the Hidden Leaf Village. So he's quiet. And then Old Man Ram shows up and busts through the place. As Old Man Ram busts in, Madara puts his arm right around Old Man Ram pretty easily. And everyone is shocked by this. And Julius was about to attack Old Man Ram. And Madara says, "Don't worry about him. He was just trying to get back that yellowed-haired woman." And Felt finally noticed Madara, and she tries to attack him. And Madara dodges Felt's attacks pretty easily. And Reinhardt then stops Felt from attacking anymore. And Madara says he'll take responsibility. This happened because he attacked his home to get the insignia back for Amelia. He should have made sure that Felt woman would have not been kidnapped by Reinhardt. And Reinhardt says, "I did not kidnap her. She, like I was saying, she also shows the insignia glowing up." And everyone then sees what Reinhardt was talking about. And Julius says, "You need to be a better knight, Madara. This could have been avoided if you were a little bit more diligent." And Madara laughs at Julius and he says, Yeah. You're so lucky." And Julius says, "What do you mean by lucky?" And Amelia says to Madara to stop. And Madara then shuts himself and he says, "Sure thing, Amelia." And yeah, everyone then starts to laugh. And he says, "I didn't even say anything bad." And oh shit. Ignore that. It wasn't anything important. Okay, so I'll always be doing that. I've been doing that for the last couple of videos, making that weird noise thing. It's just my lamp. I hit my lamp. Okay, yeah. So Julius then says, "Your soul. What do you mean?" And this what Madara said eats up with Julius. He says, "I'm very lucky." What does he mean by that? Is he going to attack us? He doesn't really trust Madara. And Reinhardt tries to explain Madara's situation, and Julius is still suspicious of him. Every knight is suspicious of Madara, and no one knows about Subaru because Subaru got kicked back home. And Amelia, this is right after, so yes, a lot of things have changed. Subaru is at home, and he actually gets to think about what he done rationally instead of in the burst of the moment, like in the original timeline. So Amelia leaves Madara there. She talks to Madara, like in the way Subaru, like with that, but Madara just says yes, and he understands, and he'll stay out of Amelia's way for a couple of days or a month or two, how long it takes. And Madara doesn't actually really mean it because if Subaru dies, he's going right back to the village. And yeah, so we'll be going straight back to the village. And okay, yeah, so it's going to be a short time skip of a day or two. And Madara is still going to be at the Karush camp. And as Amelia gets back, she tries to ignore Subaru, but Subaru tries to apologize. He says he won't be doing anything like that again. And he says Madara should be forgiven too. He probably went there just to stop Subaru. And he also says Madara really could be a good knight of yours. And Subaru says he doesn't know how long he's actually going to be here either. But Madara could be here for a very long time. And Subaru says he just wants to make sure that Amelia is going to be alright. This is what he says to her. And he says, I'll be going with Madara. Be going back to where he is. Can you please tell me? I want to start training so I can protect you better. And she then explains that she had a talk with Madara, and he's going to be in the Karush camp with Rem. And Rem doesn't really like Madara like that. They're still suspicious of him. And Subaru says, that's alright with me. That's quite alright. And he says, this will be our departing. I'll be going back with Otto. He actually is a pretty nice guy. And he then leaves Amelia, and he says, I must get stronger, just like Madara. And he then leaves, and Amelia then says, well, it looks like both of them are finally gone. And yeah, she goes back to her studies. And yeah, this is where it changes a little bit. And as Subaru and Otto are on the road, they run into Petelgeuse. Yes, Petelgeuse has been running around a little bit. They run into his cave area, and he's there a lot earlier. And Subaru noticed something like with killer intent in there. He felt something eerie in there. And he instructs Otto to keep going, but Otto says they should rest for tonight. But Subaru says there's something in that cave. I can feel it. And Otto says, are you sure? And all they hear is deaths coming from a distance. And Otto starts to hear a person's voice. And Otto starts to get scared too. And he starts to pack up the things again. And Subaru says, oh no, where's Madara? Madara doesn't have any traps out here. What am I going to do? And he then goes into his back pocket. He only has a dagger from Madara and a small knife. And he says, this guy's very bad news. And as Subaru says this to Otto, Otto gets hit right through the chest. And yeah, he gets straight hit right in the chest by Petelgeuse. And Petelgeuse is laughing at Subaru. And Subaru is in a distraught state as seeing Otto getting, yeah, Otto's dead. Yeah, he got donut. I always be saying he gets donut. Like with my other series, you know what I mean. Subaru sees this and he runs away, and he doesn't know where he's running to. he runs into more witch cultists. And he says, Madara, where are you? I need your help. And Madara doesn't know what's going on with Subaru. Because there's no traps and he doesn't see where Subaru is. He thinks he's at the mansion, safe and sound. And Subaru says, he probably thinks I'm at the mansion. Oh, dang it. I should have left a letter. Now I don't know what's going to happen to me. And Subaru says, I'm going to die. At least I'm going to die on my feet. And he says, I'll remember this. I'll make myself remember this. I'll have to remember his name so I can tell Madara. And Subaru turns around and he sees Otto's body is thrown right at him. And Subaru starts to scream. And Otto's body starts to twist and turn. Like with what Betelgeuse did with Rem, basically. He starts to see Otto's neck start to twist and turn. And Otto is like, his whole body's just being defect. It's like everything's splattering all over out of his body because of Betelgeuse. And Subaru says, stop it. And he says, he doesn't want to kill himself, but he's tempting to kill himself because he doesn't want to experience what Otto is experiencing. He says, I'll save you, Otto. I'm not going to go out like you. And as Subaru tries to stab himself in the throat so he doesn't have to experience what Otto just did, Betelgeuse grabs the knife and he says, I don't think so. Betelgeuse starts to laugh at Subaru and he says, that's very slothful. Why would you try to kill yourself? How about you try to escape from me? Des. And, Betelgeuse grabs Subaru's leg and he grabs him all the way back to the cave and chains him up. And, he then tortures him with more torture of Otto's body. And Subaru tries to break out of it so he can just end his life. But Betelgeuse is not letting him go. And, yes. Betelgeuse doesn't kill Subaru. And Subaru is still alive. And it's now going to be a couple of days later. Yeah, this timeline is already messed up. Otto doesn't make it in this timeline. I know, right? I'm trying to switch it up. I'm sorry, Otto, but you're gonna have to be dead. Rest in peace, Otto. He didn't even see it coming. So now I'm going back to Madara. It's now been a couple of days, and okay, I really should clarify it. I'm joking. Otto's not gonna be dead. He's just gonna be dead for this loop. Subaru is going to die soon. And Madara is now in his full power Susanoo, and Karusha's camp is following right behind Madara. And Betelgeuse sees Madara's Susanoo. And Madara finally locates Betelgeuse. And he says, I wonder if he was the one who kidnapped Subaru. I found the carriage with that Otto guy. What a shame. And he then says, luckily, I ran in straight into them. And the white whale hasn't appeared yet because they go a lot earlier to search for Subaru. And the white whale will appear for the next part. And Madara says, now. He whips out his sword and he says, there he is. That's most definitely the man that took Subaru. He is the Archbishop I was talking about. Madara was just bluffing about the Archbishop part. He just wanted to help because he didn't want to go out by himself, and he just wanted to make sure he had an army behind him. And Karus says, follow Madara's lead. And Betelgeuse then jumps into the air and starts to attack Madara. Madara doesn't see the unseen hands, but he starts to notice. He starts to notice them a little bit because of his Sharingan and Rinnegan is awakened. He noticed them after he started to getting hit, and the unseen hands. Betelgeuse's unseen hands are not affecting the Susanoo. Satella's unseen hands would probably affect the Susanoo a lot more because it's like 2,000 of them, which they can probably maybe get through his armor. Who knows? I don't know how strong the unseen hands are. We never see how durable they are in the ReZero world in the anime, I should say. I know they can go through people's bodies. I don't know about Susanoo armor though. It can also go through magic too. He then noticed Subaru has been tortured, and he says, "That dang archbishop. I actually didn't think it was an actual archbishop, but it is. It has to be because it's too powerful." And he's saying for this world. He then slices at Betelgeuse. He slices him in half, and he then jumps out of his armor and he summons his clones. Yeah, like he's just like summoning them. They all attack Betelgeuse, and Betelgeuse is he's able to handle the smaller Susanoo ones. He's throwing them around at each other, and Betelgeuse says, "You're very entertaining, but how did you find me so soon? I have to get a new witch. Our witch Satella is dying." And Madara then freezes and he says, "Your witch Satella is dying? I know she's a witch and all, but where is she at?" Madara tries to figure out where Satella is. I'm pretty sure Betelgeuse wouldn't know where Satella is because he's in a broken state. I know where Satella has been sealed up somewhere, but I don't know if Madara would try to go straight there. But Betelgeuse doesn't answer him. And Madara says, "So Satella is still in this world. I'll find her. I have to bring Subaru with me though. And I just have to make sure he's alright." And Madara says, "You really did save me the trouble. I was gonna have to put all of Karusha's army into a genjutsu, but luckily I actually found something that was going to be a threat." And everyone in Karusha's party then surround Betelgeuse and the witch cultists. They all start attacking all the other witch cultists. And Madara then just waits and tries to attack Betelgeuse. But Betelgeuse is flying all over the place. And Karusha's army is trying to finish off Betelgeuse. But Betelgeuse is just worried about, about Madara. And Madara's armors are starting to break down a little bit. So Madara then says, Move your entire army, Karush. I'm going to finish off Betelgeuse." He doesn't know Betelgeuse's name. Actually, Betelgeuse would probably say his name. He says Betelgeuse's name, and Karush says, retreat army, because she doesn't know what Madara is about to do, because she sees that powerful armor he had on earlier, so she doesn't want to risk it. And Betelgeuse tries to capture one of the other people in Karusha's army, but Subaru gets out of there and kicks at Betelgeuse, and he then stabs Betelgeuse in the gut, and he tries to aim for Betelgeuse's throat, but Betelgeuse, Subaru breaks out of it. He uses his he breaks his wrist and thumbs to get out of the chains that he was in. It took him a while though. And he gets stabbed by the unseen hand. Subaru sees the unseen hand, but he just wants to save Otto. That's why he went straight in to attack Betelgeuse. And Betelgeuse, kills Subaru because he just started attacking him off of the side. And Madara says, "No, you can't die like this." And he tries to he kicks Betelgeuse away from him and tries to save Subaru, and he says, "I don't need you to die again. I don't know where you're gonna be at." And Subaru says, "Betelgeuse is his name. Remember that. And his hands are of Satella's." And Madara says, "I will remember that. I'll come and save you. I promise." And everything gets reset. And as Madara goes back to a checkpoint, he sees Amelia's walking out the door, and he says, "Amelia," he says, "I can't stay. I can't stay in the capital. There's something very urgent with Subaru. I have to discuss with him." And Amelia says, "What do you mean discuss?" Madara says, "It's very important. It has to do with something with an archbishop." Subaru just explained to me that he's run into Archbishop. We can communicate from our device. He talks about his Subaru's phone. That's how he's able to communicate with him. He has one implanted in his he says in his eye and ear. So that's how he's able to communicate with them. And Amelia says, "An archbishop? Which one is it then?" And Subaru he says, Subaru is explaining to me, it says it's trying to make another witch. It says it's trying to make another Satella. That's what it's saying. Amelia says, "We need to go help Subaru then." And Madara says, "You need to stay here. I don't want an archbishop going after you. It sounds like it's going to try to kill you or something. And you should probably make some arrangements. If they're attacking so close to where Subaru is, they're probably going to attack the Roswell mansion." This is what Madara is explaining to Amelia. And Madara then says, "I'll be going out to go save him. He should be alright. He has another person with him. You should already know it's Otto." And he seems like he's a trustable person. He seems pretty kindled with animals. I kind of felt it in him, with his spirit, or something. And Madara then summons his full Susanoo, and he goes straight to where Petelgeuse would be at. And Amelia doesn't know what to do, but she has to figure out a way to help Subaru and Madara with this archbishop that's going to attack the Roswell mansion. She doesn't know if it's true or not, but she doesn't want to take any chances. So Amelia will be doing the discussions with everyone, with Karush and stuff, because this is an alternate timeline. And that's what I'll be leaving off for this part. So like I said, they'll be Subaru and Madara will be fighting Petelgeuse, and Karush's party and Amelia will be fighting off the white whale for the next part, because it's going to be a couple of days after to get everything set up, because Karush is not going to believe Amelia right away. You'll see what I'm talking about for the next part, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. It took me a minute to make this whole video. It took me like 2 hours. Okay, so leave a like, and we're almost at 1,000 subs. I'll keep making my videos. I'll keep trying. I just got very sick, like I was saying earlier in the video, so I made this longer because I missed 2 weeks. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll make my next one. Tell me in the comments what you guys would like me to upload for the next upload this part or upload another series. Just tell me. And that's all I have to say. I'm going to go eat something. Peace out, guys. Bye.